Right here, we have Jen Thome and Sean Casey talking about getting in the launch position. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch this video, and then after this video, I'm going to get my analysis on the back end. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing with players with USA Baseball right now to help them to get in that launch position and be successful. And I'm going to give you a few drills as well. And if you're watching to the end, I'm also going to give you a gift that's going to help you to be a better hitter. So with that being said, let's get started.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like the big boppers, the guys that we expect to go yard, are doing that tonight. Maybe it's because they know all things like Thome and Sean Casey are talking hitting all night on MLB Tonight. We're live in Studio 42. In our production meeting, we like to come up with segments and reasons to come in here and demonstrate something. And you guys, we talk about swings, favorite swings, but you're ready to take it to the next step. Really deep inside baseball. Yeah. What is it we're going to focus on?
Well, we love talking hitting, Jimmy and I. I mean, it's why not? You got to love these guys and what they're doing, especially when you look at guys like Freeman, Arenado, JD Martinez. And when you get technical, right, Jimmy, and we start talking about guys getting in that ready position, that bow and arrow effect, that load region, they all kind of get there differently, right? We were talking about that today.
Yeah, for me, I think hitters have good swings. But what gets them to good swings? I love looking at the side view of a hitter and what is the first move that gets them ready to that power position of knob to the catcher. And to be honest, Case, everybody does something a little bit different, which is cool, because no hitters are, nobody's alike.
Right.
You had unique things you did. Right. I had unique things. Babe Ruth had unique things he did. And the cool part, this is the best part of doing this job, is you get to really look at what all these great hitters do.
Well, let's check out Freddie Freeman, what he did, what he does to get ready to really get loaded into that position, right? You see Freddie right here, right? He's pretty quiet. His swing is pretty basic, right? Gets his hands up, and then let's roll it a little bit. Now you see a little tap. Now what does he do, Jimmy, right here?
Pulls his hands down.
Pulls his hands down. Right?
You'll see a lot of these hitters. A lot of them will tap the bat on their shoulder, but to get to this position here, which again I call it knob to the catcher, the strong hitting position. What was the first move that he did? He pulled his hands to a position that got him there.
Right. All right. Let's. How about Nolan Arenado? He hit a big home run tonight too. There's Freddie.
Look at his head. Look at his head right there.
Head back, hands back, boom, down through the baseball.
Well, he's a monster.
Monster.
He's a great hitter. Stays to the middle.
Too.
Another monster.
Yeah. You watch out Arenado here. What does he do, Jim? That's a little bit different too when he gets to where he needs to be.
Well, I love it. See how he's laying the bat. He's laying the bat on the shoulder. But again, the bat starts. Let's go back. Let's bring it back up. He taps the bat. He gets the bat tapped, and then before it gets to the catcher, he starts bringing the bat, the knob to.
There's your knob. Stop it.
Yep,
Stop
right there.
There's your knob to the catcher right there. He gets into that load position, right? Now he's ready to fire. He gets separation, right, Jimmy?
Yep.
Separation with hands and that foot. There's your bow and arrow effect
look
right there.
He probably started here and he ended here. And then look at he had the hands here, but now there's your bow and arrow effect. But look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. Look at the concentration. Now the only thing that works from here, once you're in this position, you drop the bat head to the ball.
Yep, and his head's right on it too. And great hands too. How about Bryce Harper? A little bit more movement from Bryce. Right?
He's got some movement, but again, he's so talented. And this guy can do so many good things. He curls the bat a little bit there. He curls it again right there.
Bring it back.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Go back to the beginning. Yeah. Back.
Yeah. So he's a handsy guy. You can see on his pre-setup, he likes to move his hands. And then Bryce has got movement, but I think the main thing with Bryce, he's got so much athletic ability. He can handle and maneuver the ball a lot.
Knee comes back, hands, there you go right there. So that's almost like a double. Watch the knee come back, hands kind of go down, but there's and then he brings them back up. He kind of brings them down, brings it back up.
So Case, with that,
right.
If you're going to do that, in my opinion, if you've got this movement, then you've got to start early. So the old saying, when the pitcher moves, I'm going to move.
Right.
So all this stuff that Bryce is doing, as the pitcher's going back, and sometimes we as hitters can get caught up into, I'm going to get ready from here. No, I'm going to get ready here as the pitcher's going back in his windup, but I'm going to do it slow. I'm going to de-accelerate my load to accelerate my swing.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I love this kid. I love this kid. He, free hands. Look at his head. I think the thing that impresses me, look, he's a young player. They're throwing him some fastballs right now. He does have a leg kick, but look at that head. He doesn't move. The head doesn't move. But let's go back. If we can go back and let's see what his movement is before we get the knob to the catcher.
Yeah.
Let's see what is it.
I think he tips. Keep it going. Go ahead. See how he tips right there? See how the barrel tips forward, right? And keep it going. Watch his back elbow stretch. Watch his back elbow stretch back. And leg comes up. Look at stop it right there. Yeah. Look at that back elbow, how it pulls back. So he tips the barrel, and then he pulls that back elbow.
And then look, Case, look right here. And then the elbow will drop here.
Right, it's going to drop right in
through here. Right.
Boom. And then you have that. So he gets that load. Then you have the back elbow drops in, puts him right on plane.
Absolutely.
Boom. Right here. See that back elbow drop down? You're right. Head down
the tilt here gets him in the great position that he's in. This kid can hit.
Oh, he can hit.
He can hit.
And really quick, Jimmy, you talked about that little tilt. That kind of gets that elbow into slot, right?
Oh,
this guy's special.
Oh,
you talk about special?
He taps on the shoulder, and then watch where the knob goes. It's real simple. Boom is the tap. Now look at the knob.
Yep.
So if we can go back, there's two movements here. The least amount of movement you can have as a hitter, you put yourself in hitting position. This is why he's could possibly win a Triple Crown, because he doesn't have a lot of movement. He taps, boom, right there. Now look at that position.
Right. Wow.
And let's talk. This is awesome. If we can go back, this is something, Greg, that we talked about early. Watch the back heel.
Yes.
Watch the back heel. He pinches the quad, the inner quads right here. He pinches this. He stays square. Watch the heel. Stays on the ground. Keep going. If we can run it, watch that back heel. That is awesome. So what he's not doing,
that awesome?
Because what he's on his move to the baseball, he's not spinning off early.
Not spinning, right.
He's coming here, back heel, boom, on contact he's spinning. He's not spinning early. And we talked about that with the golf swing. Mm-hmm. Neither one of us are golfers at all. But golfers have to keep the heel on the ground until contact, I would think.
Right. I don't really know golf.
Me either.
This guy's special. For Rookie not being that big of a guy, watch how he works his elbows right here. Look at that right there, that stretch. Go back, bring it back real quick. Watch this in here. He's so good. And I was talking to JD Martinez at the All-Star game. I said, break down Mookie Betts. He said, watch his elbows, how good he works his elbows. So go ahead. He brings them back. He's going to stretch this elbow back. Look at that. Stop right there. Look at that back stretch right there. Look at the stretch that he gets. He's not that big of a guy. The reason he hits for so much power, this is that bow and arrow effect. If you had a bow and arrow, Jimmy, because I know you're a big hunter, right? And I took that bow and arrow and went like this, right? And I hit it, right? You're not going to get too many deer, right?
No.
If I stretch it back like this, now you got something. You can let it rip. I don't know how far the yardage would be, but that's pretty impressive. That's why he gets so much power. Is that bow and arrow stretch he gets right there with his hands and his front side.
I love when guys gain ground forward, because if you gain ground forward, it means your hands are going to move to some degree going back. It doesn't have to be real far back, because you don't want to bar.
Right.
You don't want to push them way, way back, but they've got to go back to a certain degree. They've got to come back to a certain degree. But if you're parallel, if you're shoulder width apart, I can get out to here, and that's where you get all your power. Mm-hmm. But some guys are spread out. Some guys have a wide stance, and they might get there. They might push their bat load a little bit far back.
It sounds like there's not one clear-cut answer here.
No, it's why everybody's unique.
Different reasons. Their body type's different. Their flexibilities are different. Everything.
Absolutely.
So you can't really teach a youngster how to load. You got to watch his swing and then tinker within his
and
swing.
tinker, yeah. But I do think though, like what we're showing, guys can start wherever they want to start, but most big league hitters, when they're in position, boom, they have that they're getting some sort of separation back to go forward, right, Jimmy?
That's why I think it's good to get kids, young kids, even to sometimes get them narrow, you know, and let them feel what it's like to go out. See, I started here and I ended here. That's what ultimately, when kids get strong and they start getting core strength, they can widen out a little bit farther, but I would like to see them start a little more narrow. My son and I do this drill where I'll get him where he's narrow, but I want him to feel what it's like to go get the baseball. I don't want the ball to get back on him in the zone, because I want him to feel what it's like to actually go out here and get the baseball.
More together for young kids.
Yeah.
I love
and then
to feel that
when they get
separation,
comfortable,
walking away from your hands.
Absolutely.
Walking away from your hands.
That was a
feel that.
high energy hitting demo. I love that.
Welcome back to my channel. I'm former Major League Baseball player Jermaine Curtis, and today we have Jim Thome and Sean Casey talking about the launch position, or in other words, the ready position, or as I like to say, position to do damage, or the position to drive the baseball, you know, being ready to hit any pitch. A lot of you guys are struggling with that. When you guys send me video, I see that you're late to get to that position. So I want to talk to you guys about it, because I have a few players here with USA Baseball that are struggling with it as well, and I'm going to share with you what we're doing to get them in that position. So what is the launch position first? You'll see it with all players, from, you know, players in the Hall of Fame back to the 1920s or 1900s, all the way to now. We all get into this position. Now, there's going to be exceptions to the rule. You have like your Acuna Juniors, you have the exception, but most everyone is getting to that position where they're here, you know, the scap is activated and their knob is pointing to the catcher, as Jim Thome likes to say, and they're in a balanced position, and they're working with their head in between, you know, their legs. They call it the triangle. There's different ways to say it. You could have the rubber band effect where you get the stride and the, you know, the stretch between your hands and your front foot. There's so many ways to explain it, and everyone talks about it differently, but that's something that all players get to, no matter if they're batting like this and then go to there, or if they're like this, they all get to it. Or if they're like Freddie Freeman, who's like here, you know, Albert Pujols, they all get to that position. So it's a position that allows us to see the ball better. It allows us to make good decisions. It allows us to get barrel to the ball. It's something that, you know, if you're a young player, you want to get yourself ready to. You want to get yourself able to get to that position as consistent as possible. Curtis Granderson used to be a guy that was like this when he hit, and then he realized he needed to get to this position, or he was struggling to get to this position right here, struggling to get to this position. So what he did was he changed into batting like this. So he was already in that, so he can simplify his swing, get himself there, and that allowed his career to take off. So what we're going to do today is talk about it. Because I have a lot of players that are doing it. For example, I have a player with USA Baseball, and he likes to time everything up. And then he asked me, what's wrong with my swing? And I'm like, you just don't look like you're ready. You're getting beat because you're trying to time things up. His hands are moving like this. He's like moving like this as he's trying to swing. His hand doesn't get in the same place all the time. So since his hands don't get in the same place all the time, he struggles to get barrel to the ball. He struggles to get consistent. So what are we doing right now? Well, when we're working off the tee, I have him do the step up drill, step out drill, step in drill. There's so many drills you could do. So basically, let's do the step in drill. So you're here just like this, and all you're gonna do is step in. Boom. You see how I got to that position? Now I'm gonna take a swing on and drive that baseball. So it eliminated him trying to time up things. So I literally stand right here just like this, and all he's doing is here, getting himself ready, getting him into that position. So I'll do it from this side so you can see it. So here, step, bam, bam. He's in that position. Now he fires and he's ready to hit. So takes away all the other movements, and I keep getting him to work that way. his hands move so much, he wants to go like this as he's starting to swing. So that's another thing we did. We eliminated this movement because you have to be quiet before the storm. And I'll say that again, you have to be quiet before the storm. I played against Nolan Arenado when I was with the St. Louis Cardinals and he was with the Rockies. And Nolan Arenado spazzes in the batter's box. And that's just how his personality is. You see him, he's over here, you know, doing all that. But before he hits, he starts going like this. He gets quiet. He gets quiet. We all need to get quiet before the storm. We're not gonna keep being loud before we swing. We wanna be silent before the storm because we're gonna attack that baseball. And Nolan Arenado is a good example of that. And I'll show a video of him right now to show you. He is very quiet before the storm. He's here like this, and then he goes quiet. And he gets to that position. So it's important. You could do a lot of things beforehand, but you got to get yourself in that position. And right now I have a few players that are struggling to get there. They're quiet before, and then they get all loud when they're about to get in that position, and their hands don't get in the same spot every single time. You got some people hands, they're going like this, and then they're right here, and then trying to get there, and now their hands aren't in the same place. So they're struggling. So we want to get quiet before the storm, and we want to give ourselves a chance to get into that launch position. So the first thing I do is I have them do the walk-in drill. And I know you've seen me do it on this channel before, and I'm sure you've seen it in several different places across the internet. So basically what you're doing is you're going to be just like this. You're going to take your right step forward if you're a right-handed hitter, and you're going to get into that position. You see how I just got into the launch position? And it simplifies and allows them to not time the baseball, but get ready to hit. That's what we want to do. We want to get ready to hit. So we're going to go here, we're going to go here, bam, and now we're in this position, and then we go right to the ball and drive this baseball wherever it's pitched. If it's, you know, if we're working up the middle, we'll go up the middle. If we're working middle away, we'll go middle away. And if we're working the left center, we'll go to left center as a right-handed hitter. It could be the reverse as a lefty. So that's one drill that I do. The next drill I do is the step in. So you're similar to that drill, but all you do is step in, get ready, and then you hit off the tee. And so you're basically doing the same thing. You're eliminating all the other movements just to get yourself ready to get in that launch position to swing the bat. Takes out all the thought process. It takes out all your other bad movements, and it just gets you ready to take barrel to the ball and do damage. Okay, so you literally stand just like this. You go here, bam, and then you go right into it and drive, and you'll feel that your quad is activated, and you'll feel you being stable, and you'll feel your heel on your back side. And that's what you want right there. You want to feel everything. So you're here, and we go in, boom, I can feel it, and then I just go right to where I need to be, and I'm staying on my backside, and I'm driving that baseball wherever I need to be. The next thing is I do all of this off a front toss. So I'll be, you know, a little bit in front of them, and I'll have them walk in and do the same thing. Here with the bat on their shoulder, bam, get up, and then right to the ball as I flip it. So they start hitting it opposite field, center, and left center, and they stay on their backside. If they push forward, they're gonna hit a ground ball, but it teaches them to stay on their backside and not push over and not break their base. Again, the base is the most important part of hitting. If a pitcher gets you unbalanced, then you're not going to get your A swing off. You're gonna be like this. So we wanna train ourselves, and this is one way to do that. If you step in, do the step in drill, bam, look at me, I'm in a balanced position. I'm in the triangle. Head is in between, you know, the half. And right now I could steal a bag. I'm in such a balanced position that I could just drop the bat and go. And that's where you want to be. A lot of you guys are too wide, or you know, you're too tall, and then your lower half looks like this, and you're not in a balanced position. But if you do this drill, it's going to teach you where you need to be so that you're balanced all the time. Okay, so I do it off front toss, and then I also have them do the walk-in off front toss. So again, they get into that position, and then I have them hit off a pitching machine. And I have the pitching machine close. I don't have it where it's far back. I don't have it where it's 60 feet 6 inches, which what they're normally seeing. I have it where it's close into them, halfway, I'll say 30 feet, 40 feet away, and I will have the ball coming out at good velocity. And what that's going to do is force them to get ready. they're not going to be able to time it up because there's no rhythm and timing off a pitching machine. So it's going to force them to get that bat in that position so they can get the barrel to the ball, get behind it and drive that baseball. And this is helping a lot of my players hitting off the pitching machine, doing these drills, especially if they're struggling to get into that launch position. And something I highly recommend you guys take seriously and do as often as possible so you can get yourself in the right position to get barrel to the baseball. Okay, if you do this, you hit off the pitching machine. If you do the step in, if you do these drills that I mentioned in this video, you're going to teach yourself to get ready. What you want to do is get ready. You don't want to time everything up. If you're dancing too much, you're going to be late on pitches. And if you don't feel like you're on time, then you're going to be off. But if you're ready to hit, you're going to be able to get barrel to the ball more consistently. It doesn't matter who's pitching out there because you're not playing against the pitchers, you're playing against the game. And that is different from, you know, playing against the pitchers. Playing against the game, you're ready to hit anybody. Some guy's going to throw 87. Some guy's going to throw 75 in your level. Some guy's going to throw 65 in your level. You know what I mean? Some guys going to throw 99. They're going to be throwing fast, but if you just get yourself ready, you'll be able to see the ball better and get the barrel there. But if you're struggling to get into that position, and I don't care where you bat, you could bat like this, like the Punisher. You could bat like Jay Buhner. Remember him? He was like this, but he got into that position where he could drive the baseball. You bat like Griffey. You know, you can bat like they all get to the same position. And that's the key right there. You want to get yourself in that position as often as possible. And when you do that, that's going to allow you to be consistent. So if you watch into this end, I want to give you this book right here. This says The Hitter's Log. I'll give it to you for free. What you're going to do is jot down your thoughts, your bats, the approach that you are, you know, going up to the plate looking for. You're going to jot down the pitches you see. Then you're going to use all that data, your hits when you're getting out. You're going to use all that data to get better and know who you are as a player. At the major league level, the guys know who they are and they play to their strengths every single day. For example, what I did was I know from using my hitter's log that majority of my success was up in the zone. And it was early in the count. I realized 70% of my hits were on fastballs early in the count up in the zone. So what do you think I look for early in the count? I look for that pitch because that was my A swing. That was going to allow me to be the most consistent, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to learn who you are as a hitter. And we all have struggles as a hitter. We all have holes in our swing. But if you work around your holes and focus on what you do well, you're going to get your most consistent success and you're going to take yourself as far as you possibly can go. So if that's something that you want, I'll give it to you for free. Link will be in the description below. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm former Major League Baseball player Jermaine Curtis. Hit that like button for me because it helps me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys.